Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your board. P-Funk, thinking right here in my living room where I do what I do for you. Today, writers in 25 Rules to Live By, storytelling, story with a message in the story for life. These are life lessons that I'm giving. I hope you're receiving them. I see you are. I appreciate you, those who are. Let's go. Right thinking mission is to enlighten, inspire, educate and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment, knowing yourself a little better spiritually, where it counts. Right thinking's way of life through mental and spiritual discipline daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka knowing thyself. That's something that we all should take serious. Let's go with the question. Know thyself. Everybody should have an answer. Wonder what yours is. But here go the question. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not, foolish. Are you them? I disregard them. A person who knows not but knows that they know not is simple. I can teach you. Tune in. That's why I do what I do for you. I got something for you. A person who knows not and believe that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock. I got the knowledge you need to wake up to. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself, and to Mayat be true. That means you got to have balance in your life. Today, right thinkers, we've been going over a few things, and thinking, thinking, never mind the right, thinking, emphasizing, okay? Right thinkers, let's talk about how to master the mind game, aka the art of thinking. I know how to think. I can think for myself. I don't need you to teach me how to think. hmm If you think that, you ain't thinking right. Let's go. Right thinking philosophy is all about learning about the God and goddesses, aka yourself. I teach that concept because the aspects of your personality they put into character form so that you can philosophically break it down. That's what I teach. Okay? Right thinking is learning the right things you need about life that you need to know yourself. I gotta keep it calm. I have years of gaining vast knowledge and understanding of different points of view about life from every aspect and every religious angle for a reason. Thinking is what they all have in common. And in order to gain knowledge is something you have to do. Think. Right thinking is a must, not a minus, but a plus. Your mind does the thinking, but your heart, remember I tell you, you got to marry that heart and mind. The mind does the thinking, the heart does the feeling. That's where truth lies. That's where love is. That's where all the good stuff is. I tell you, that's where God is. So that's another lesson. And it also just found out modern times that it has a brain. It's another lesson. We ain't going there, but we knew that a long time ago. Again, I ain't going there. Let's deal with what I call spiritual discipline. I tell you, spiritual discipline is the mind listening to the heart. The mind had to be disciplined enough to hear what the heart had to say. When God wants to talk to his people in biblically, he tell you, still yourself. Know that I am God. Okay? All that's fine. But there's a concept, meaning you have to shut it down, shut up, and listen because he has something to say. And if you understand he or it, the spirit that's within you, talks to you from within. Conceptually. Having mind control is you're living spiritually and not religiously. Excuse me. And I mean that if you're following a religion, that don't make you spiritual. It makes you religious. And because you're religious, don't make you spiritual. I'm spiritual. I fellowship with religious people, like-minded people who are religious, but we have the same spiritual concepts, so it works well. So don't get it twisted. I'm a spiritual being having a human experience. I keep telling you that I live a spiritual lifestyle. And if that means if you follow God or obedience to God, then you're spiritual. If you claim to be a Christian, Muslim, or Jew, you're religious. I'm just saying. So, that's all right. I'm led by my spirit, and I learn because of my intellect, which is having knowledge of things that I need to know for myself. One is life experience. That's the wisdom that I've gained over the years. But the other is sitting down, opening up a book, and gaining knowledge from another aspect other than that one book. I got a library full of books to gain intellect and knowledge of things. Spirituality is heartfelt by all those who know and conceive God for themselves. It's a spiritual thing. So understand that Christians can feel God, Muslims can feel Allah, Jews can feel Jehovah. It's all the same thing conceptually. So I don't get caught up in none of that. Right thinking is learning to live what I consider right thinking philosophy by certain principles and rules that governs you, that you learn and you live them. Once you master them, hence master self. Let's go. Knowing thyself. That's what it all breaks down to. We think whenever we're asleep, your mind, even when we sleep, the mind is still working. Why? Because the subconscious, I told you, runs the show. Your conscious mind is just running the show while you're physically awake. Excuse me, that's another lesson. We ain't going there, but the mind does its own thing. You have to learn how your mind works and use it to master it for yourself. If you don't know how your mind works, you got work to do on you. So I'm saying it's techniques and things and understand that you can gain to understand that, but that's not what this lesson is about. This lesson is getting you to understand how to use your mind to your advantage. I'm telling you what you need to do. I love to learn. I call it brain food. Obtaining knowledge, downloading information, whatever you want to do. I do a lot of that. I enjoy that. That's just my thing. In order to give information, you have to receive and gain information on a daily basis. I teach every day. I don't take days off. So I learn every day. Same thing. I don't take days off. The more you know, the better you can look at me. The more you know, the better you can look and understand what it is you're doing. Why? I use my intellect. I use my knowledge that I live by and prove I can do it this way. Why? God don't mind you being intellectually understanding of him. He don't want you to be ignorant of him. That's the problem. So, right thinkers, we become intellectually understanding of who God is and who we are for ourselves. When you learn what and who you are, you can do something about it by living it and proving it to yourself. It's a personal thing, okay? Anything spiritual is within is personal. So it's always self, whatever it is, self-driven. Self don't mean I or me. Self is the spirit. The am. Let's go. The mind does what the mind does. It thinks, it calculates, it functions, it does what it had to do. It makes the body function even when you're asleep. So it does what it does. If you can get the conception, understand it, and conceive the concept, watch this. If you don't want to be better, you're not thinking right. That don't make no sense. Bettering yourself, self-improvement, all those things are what we live for, unless you already reached the pinnacle where you just don't need to do no better. But that means perfect. Nobody got there yet. So dreams are thoughts, desires, thoughts. You have to control those thoughts. Why? Because if you can't control the negative thoughts and the bad things, you might end up acting on those things. That's why controlling what you think becomes important. Okay? I have constant thoughts that I have learned to control them. Why? Because if I don't have control of those bad and negative things, I may act on them. Again, you have to control. You don't say, I can't think negative. No. It's just understanding I'm not going to act on the negative thoughts. That's all. When you get better at it, they won't come as often. Why? Because they know they won't have no effect. That's the other guy. Understand that too, conceptually. All right. When you at now down here, okay. Think. It ain't illegal yet. So use your mind while it's yours. They're coming for it. I'm gonna let that stay right there. I ain't going to that one right now. I know how I feel about that. Excuse me. Freedom is being able to think for yourself. Right thinking philosophy teaches you what to think about for yourself. When you lose the right to be able to judge and pick and choose what it is you want to do, ball game over. Oppression, Hunger Games, here we come. Last one, and again, I appreciate you tuning in. Something bright behind my back. I don't know what's going on. Color ain't looking too good. I hope you can see me, but again, it's in the rhetoric. It ain't in the look or all that other stuff. Window dressing. I'll get into that. Let's get the rhetoric. Last one. You got to feel like my mind is mine. I'll use it to know God. That's right thinking philosophy. I keep my mind on God and God on my mind. That's being spiritually conscious. I'm always thinking God first. That don't make me a fanatic. Okay? I'm not a fan of God. I'm a servant and I'm obedient to God with knowledge of Him. Okay, let's go. Knowing thyself, again, puts me in a position, is done with mind control, aka the art of right thinking philosophy. Mastering oneself is art of gaining control of your mind. Again, mastering self. You got to be the master of what you're thinking, why you're thinking, and how you're thinking. It's important. You have to think to know thyself. If you can learn the ABCs, the 2 plus 2, the math, you can learn how to master yourself. Simple as that. Comprehension of what's normal, common sense. It ain't brain surgery. You don't have to be a college degree person to learn right thinking and acquire the information that I'm putting out for you as a right thinker. Common sense is all you need. Okay? You can add 2 plus 2. You can become a right thinker. Your mind has to listen. Your ears have to listen. Then your mind has to obey your heart. The mind listens to the heart. Hence, heart-mind coherence. They're working synonymous in one. You feel it, you think it, then you act on it. That's the original Trinity. That's how you create and manifest things. The last one, I master my mind by what? Knowing myself and God are one. It's becoming God conscious. Master yourself, master right thinking. You would know that. I do. Do you? Tune in. I can help you if you don't.